Conventional thinking on male fertility is being challenged. It could be that when it comes to fertility, men are subject to the same biological clock as women. A new study has shown men over the age of 50 are only half as likely to successfully conceive when they use IVF treatment.
Until recently, fertility experts and scientists have focused more on women's bodies than male reproductive health. Let's get more on this. We're joined from Canberra by PhD candidate Fabrizzio Horta from Monash University. Thanks so much for joining us. So you're looking specifically at the case of candidates for IVF, but as we've said, it's often been women. We've talked about having a biological clock, but you're saying that men also have a ticking clock.
Exactly right. So basically what we have done, we've been studying what is the impact of male age in IVF outcomes, considering different factors including the female age. And in simple words, we have found that when we don't know the reason of infertility in couples, male age is having a significant role. In fact, the male age have an impact in live birth. Every year a man gets older, there is the chance to achieve live birth decline by 4.1%. That's the main outcome of our study.
Yeah, Fabrizzio, we often look at those ageing rock and movie stars who've become fathers, but you're saying essentially they're the exception.
Yeah, well, it's not that they are the exception. We have to understand as well, and probably that is one of the reasons why we haven't focused that much in the impact of male age, but men, we have the possibility of producing sperm cells across our entire life. However, for that, and potentially for that reason, we haven't really explored if that is still, even though we are producing a sperm, that doesn't have an impact. But yeah, as we have that figure outside, having these rock stars, having babies, and in an old age, yeah, probably that hasn't contributed in a well manner. The fact that male infertility is actually really important, and male age is also having a significant role.
Yes, so you found that male fertility sharply declines once you hit 40. Why is that?
Well, thank you for that question, because it always leads a little bit to confusion. In the case of female age, we know that there is a sharp decline after 35 years old, 37, 38, that depend a little bit of the groups, study groups that define the guidelines. In the case of male age, based on our study, what we have found is that the decline in fertility is linear. So basically every year, a man that get older, the chances to achieve live birth decline. But if we want to use this data in a different way, or in a simpler way to understand it, if you compare men older than 50 years old with men younger than 40 years old, those men have a half of the chance to achieve live birth. So in just 10 years difference, so from turning from 40 to 50 years old, the chance decline by 50% compared to men that are younger than 40. But just to mention a little bit again, still the effect is every year. So every year you are getting older, you are reducing your chance to achieve live birth through IVF.
Another interesting point I find is that you found that older women are much more likely to conceive with a younger man, but the opposite is not true. Why is that?
Well, again, thank you for this question. That is one of the, I would say, really important findings as well, and really surprising us, because we know that female age is definitely one of the biggest factor involved in infertility. However, we wanted to have a look how is the relationship between male age and female age, and we found that regardless the female age, the male age always is having an impact. So even if a male partner with a young woman, they will still have a negative impact if they are older. That surprised us, because based on preclinical data we have, studies that we are currently doing and we will be having published soon, we have found that potentially it could be a decreased impact in that sense. But this clinical study is telling us that regardless of the female age, there is always an impact. Having taken it into the different direction as you asked me, it's true. Like, for instance, females, if they partner with younger men, that always is going to be the best scenario. And then, for instance, going to the other side, if both are older, that is definitely the worst scenario.
Well, you've got a lot of people thinking right now, I think, about their potential partners. Just before we go, though, you're essentially saying in reproduction, men need to take more responsibility.
Exactly right. That is the critical point, and thank you very much for make that point, because yeah, I think maybe because of years of media behind, and also because we know clearly that female infertility is really critical, especially female age. But from one side is maybe responsibility, and also normally when we talk about human reproduction, naturally, even in the clinical practice, we tend to think in female reproduction, not male reproduction. So it's something that we've been ignoring, and I think, of course, it's really critical that, or the main message of this study is that just a factor such as age is having a role. That means that there is a lot of behind that could be underlying reason explaining this, and we don't know really exactly. We have some ideas. There is some data in animal research, in discovery research, but yeah, we have to take more responsibility about male infertility. We have to foster research. We have to know why this is happening so that we can develop new treatments. We can develop new strategies in favor of our patients, so then we can improve our IVF outcomes.
Indeed. Well, your research obviously is a great start. Fabrizzio Horta from Monash University, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.